Another trade deadline has come and gone, and Jim Rutherford was a busy man, acquiring veteran Patrick Marleau for a conditional third-round pick, the condition being if the Penguins do win the Cup, that third turns into a second. And then the more shocking of the two trades, he trades away Dominic Kahun to Buffalo for Connor Sheary and Evan Rodriguez. Nothing huge, nothing blockbuster, but some two solid depth trades for Jim Rutherford, and a lot of mixed opinions among the fan base. Some of the fans like both trades, some of the other fans hate both trades. Some people, or should I say maybe most people, are in the middle. They like one of the trades, probably don't like the other. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about all these trades, starting with the first one, and that is Patrick Marleau. Bright and early, Jim Rutherford acquires Patrick Marleau, the veteran from San Jose, for a conditional third-round pick. Obviously, the condition being, like I said earlier, if the Penguins do win the Cup, that third turns into a second. And honestly, if the Penguins win the Cup, second-round pick is the last of my worries. Take all the second-round picks. Take the first, take everything. Because if the Penguins win the Cup, who cares? That's the last of your thoughts. The main thing, a lot of people said that he's old, he's slow, he's opposite of what we need. We're a fast, speedy team. He's old and slow. We're going the other way. That's where I disagree. Obviously, Patrick Marleau is way past his prime. He's no superstar that he once was. But that's not a problem, and the Penguins didn't acquire him to come and be that. What Patrick Marleau provides to the Penguins right now is depth scoring, secondary scoring. He's just a solid depth piece. He's not coming in to be the first or second liner to replace Jake Gensel or whatever. That was the Jason Zucker trade. This is not what this is. This is more depth, right? And also maybe a one more chance at a cup for him. That's why the Sharks probably traded him to a contender like the Penguins. Patrick Marleau just brings so much to the locker room. He's going to help out the young guys so much, playing maybe on a line with a guy like Bluger, whoever he's playing with, in the locker room in general, on the ice. Just having Patrick Marleau's presence around, that legendary future Hall of Famer, it does a lot to younger players. He's not going to come in and teach them how to play hockey, obviously not, but he'll definitely throw in his comments, his opinion, what he sees on the ice. Because again, he is a future Hall of Famer. This is not just any 39-year-old that you're bringing in. This is Patrick Marleau. At one point, he will go in the Hall of Fame. Even if he's not scoring, even if he's not playing in the lineup, let's say, right, he's just going to benefit being around the guys in a hopeful long playoff run. A guy like Patrick Marleau definitely helps. Do I think they re-sign him after this year? Definitely not. They don't need Patrick Marleau. This is strictly a rental. He's not going to come in and play next year, not even at league minimum. I don't see it. He's not going to take a roster spot from one of the younger guys coming up. He's just going to play this year, and that's it. He's just a strict rental. So let me know what you guys think of this Patrick Marleau trade. But now let's move on to the more controversial of the two trades, and that is when Jim Rutherford sends Dominic Kahun to Buffalo for Connor Sheary and Evan Rodriguez. So I'm going to talk about what we gave up, and obviously everybody hated this. I don't think nobody was a fan of losing Dominic Kahun, and I'm not going to lie, I definitely don't like losing Kahun too. I have actually a theory, by the way. It's not confirmed. Don't go out and spread this. It's not a rumor that I'm starting here. It's just my theory, my opinion, what I think happened, because I don't think you just throw Kahun in there for no reason. I think they liked Kahun. I think they wanted to keep Kahun. But hear me out. This is my theory, and it actually makes sense. What I think happened, in my opinion, somewhere down the line, Jim Rutherford probably went to Dominic Kahun's camp. They probably started talking a contract extension. And I just feel like Dominic Kahun maybe asked for a bit too much for Jim Rutherford's liking. So I'm not going to say that he instantly said, screw this guy, I'm trading him. But if he got the chance to unload him, which maybe he did in this trade, he would have done it, that's what I think. Because you guys got to keep in mind, the Penguins have a lot of RFAs and UFAs coming up this summer. And if Kahun wants something like $3-4 million, maybe that's just a couple million out of Jim Rutherford's budget. You got to keep in mind, we just signed Pettersson to a long-term $4 million deal. Jared McCann is an RFA. The two goalies, Murray and Jarry, RFAs. Schultz, UFA. He's probably leaving, So a lot of free agents coming up. I would say it was between McCann and Kahun for the forward RFAs. If you're going to keep one, in my opinion, you keep McCann. And if he's going to pay the bucks to somebody, it's going to be McCann. And I'm thinking that's what he wanted to do. So as soon as maybe Kahun set a number too high for his liking, he thought, listen, let me not have this problem in the summer. Let me just try my best to get rid of him and, lessen my problems in the summer. That's just my theory. I don't know. That it could be very wrong. But let's say that was the case. I totally agree with it, because out of the forwards, you got to pick one from the RFAs. McCann or Kahun, who would you guys like to pick? I personally would like McCann over Kahun. So if Kahun wants, let's say, $3-4 million for a long-term deal, it makes sense to dump that off and try and give that to McCann and then focus on the two goalies that you got to sign. But that's obviously way, way down the road. Right now, let's talk about what we got back in this trade. Starting with Connor Sheary, I'm actually so happy that he's back. I know he got this reputation towards the end of his tenure with the Penguins as a bad player. I don't know where I know where it came from, actually. He pretty much had a bad second half of his season and a bad playoff run at the end there, that just gave him that reputation as just a bad player, which I find very wrong. In that second year of the back-to-back run, Connor SHEARY in 61 games got 23 goals, 30 assists, 53 points. He was nearly point per game. And if he played all 82 games, Connor SHEARY was on pace to hit close to 40 goals, almost 80 points. This guy was legit for that year, but just the next year, he went on a terrible slump. I believe he scored like 4 goals in January and on. He just wasn't scoring. He went on a huge slump, and what I find crazy about that is he almost hit 20 goals that season too, going through that huge, just bad slump. And honestly, going back to the Kahun thing, I think a lot of Penguins fans I've noticed, they just love to overreact when we trade a player. Listen, I'm going to be straight up. Connor SHEARY and Dominic Kahun are very similar production-wise. Connor SHEARY will come in and give what Dominic Kahun gave, if not more, because the thing is, we know it works. It's not we're taking a gamble here, we're hoping it works. We know it worked. We know it works. We know if we put him with Crosby, it's gonna work. It worked before. It's not like we're trading for a guy and we don't know if he's gonna fit in or not. We know Connor SHEARY's gonna fit in because he's fit in before. He's best friends with half these guys, the youngsters, or Murray, Russ. They came up all together. They were all in Wilkes-Barre that year, and then they all got called up with Mike Sullivan the year they won the cup. All these guys are best friends. When SHEARY was here, Crosby likes him on his wing. Listen, when you go through that grind of winning those 2 cups back-to-back, you have this extra connection with each other. And SHEARY instantly, he'll come into the locker room and he'll be felt. It'll be like, finally, hey, look who's back. It's going to be almost like they got a brother back in a way, if you guys get what I mean. And for the Dominic Simon hate club, honestly, this is big for you guys. If you don't like Simon on the first line, this most likely means he's gone from the first line, in my opinion. I think I would put SHEARY with Zucker and Crosby. I think that would be a better line. And that moves down Simon down to the 3rd or 4th line. So for those guys, the guys who hate Simon on the top line, there you go. You most likely got your wish. Unless, maybe, I'm just going to throw that out there. Maybe. I don't know. That's all I'm going to say. I know it's going to piss a lot of people off, but I would have a good laugh. Overall, today, we lost 1 guy in Kahun. We brought 3 back in Marleau, SHEARY, and I was about to say Kahun, and Rodriguez, of course. The Penguins have plenty of options. Rodriguez, in my opinion, could be a really solid 4th-line center, but when everyone's healthy, I don't think he plays. But that's the thing. He's a way better option as that 13th forward, because we know injuries are coming. It's been all year long. He's definitely going to get to play just based off injuries. He's, in my opinion, a way better option than a guy like Agazino, which, by the way, got claimed. He's not even with us anymore. Or, a guy like Angelo, a guy like Lafferty. I love the guys, but I think he's just a little bit better of an option. He's got more experience in the NHL. He's going to want to prove himself. I definitely think for right now, with all these injuries, he can play as that 4th-line center, but it's just that extra depth in a long playoff run, which is what I'm hoping we have. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know how you're feeling. How confident are you going into the playoffs, or this final stretch heading into the playoffs with this team? Did you want Jim Rutherford to do something else? Defenseman maybe? That's all on you guys. Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.